Greetings, visitors. What are you learning today that will help you better serve God? Well, it's a new year, 2026, and this is the first day of the year, January 1st. I've been waiting quite a while before I put up a video. I'm sorry about that. Apologize. I know you've been missing me, hopefully. Anyway, I did a short article today. I posted it on my Faith Writers website, not mine, but Faith Writers website, and anybody can post their articles on this. And I've got enough material to probably put together about 10 books, short books. But anyway, I'm just gonna read the first part of this article and then show you the list. But you can go to Faith Writers. I appreciate it if you did. Okay, so the power of reading. The power of reading and lifelong learning. It's been said that you will be the same person 5 years from today. It's been said that you will be the same person 5 years from now as you are today, except for the books you read and the people you meet. Or rather, the people you meet and the books you read. I'm not sure which order that goes in, but this was attributed to the late Charlie Tremendous Jones, who was a insurance salesman, motivational speaker, and author. But it actually came from somebody else, but he said it so often that it was attributed to him. I've heard the saying that reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body. Right? Well, there's a lot of truth in that statement, you know. We become what we think about. You've heard that saying? Yeah. That's why it's so vital to read good books. Books filled with sound ideas, wisdom, principles that align with biblical truth. Books that, when read carefully and thoughtfully, can actually change your life. They place you in the company of some of the greatest thinkers who've ever lived. Frankly, I struggle to understand the mindset of those who do not read at all. I mean, do they believe that they possess all knowledge? No, we're continuously learning. So you need to read and fill yourself up with good thoughts, ideas, information so that you can share it with other people. Many people waste countless hours on mindless entertainment, sports, and distractions that, really do them no good. They get them set into the mold of the world, And Romans, I'm digressing from the script here for my article, but just basically, that Romans 12:2 says, "Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Okay, so you have to understand this, and you're being conformed to this world in ways you're not even aware of. So you have to conform your thinking to the thoughts of our Lord and to the Apostle Paul and to the other saints. That's what's really going to change you. Mark Twain once said that the man who does not read has no advantage over the man who cannot read. That's very well said, isn't it? So below is a list of books I recommend. I personally benefited from them. You might spend $100 to $500 or maybe less if purchased online, used. But you can also go to a library if you don't have that kind of money and just check some of these books out. Buy them, find them used on the internet somewhere. If you buy them, the advantage is you can underline them. Okay, I like the actual paperback or the hardback in my hands. Some people use Kindle or they just read online, audiobooks and that. But there's a slight difference. I like to listen to my books and read them. Okay, so I find it up on YouTube. I listen to it and I also read it if possible. The Apostle Paul wrote in 1 Thessalonians 5:21. Good verse to memorize. All right? It says, "Prove all things, hold fast that which is good." So last year, I read about 50 books, about half as many as I read the prior year in 2024. But it was still a worthwhile goal, and I wanted to hit it, so I read my last book yesterday, short book. Let's see here. How did I put this down? Charlie Tremendous Jones was known to read roughly 50 books a year. No, that was supposed to be Charlie Kirk, the late Charlie Kirk. that's a great target, but don't beat yourself up or get discouraged if you read fewer. Even one book a month adds up to 12 powerful influences per year. Be careful, read carefully, think critically, accept what is true, reject what is false, and apply what is useful. That's the approach that shaped my thinking. It's helped me grow personally and contributed to my success. And I might have pointed this out before in other videos, but in college, I did so well speaking on the college debate team, speech team, because I had prepared years before by reading and filling my mind and listening to cassettes and lectures. And so when I got to college, of course, I was a little bit older than some of the other students, but I did very well, by learning the techniques of the best speakers. And then later on, I joined Toastmasters, and that was pretty good training also. All right, so I'm going to give you a list right here. I'll show you. I'm going to just turn this around. Go. So can you see that list right there? Jim Rohn. Those are the first 3 books I read last year. I'm just going to kind of scroll. Can you see that? I might have read a few more, but I probably repeated them, Some of the shorter books I read a second time, I think. I treated the whole New Testament as one book. I didn't even put that down. It just says the Holy Bible, King James Version. I got to change that. Book of Proverbs is one book. Book of Jeremiah. Okay? So anyway, make your list of books this year for 2026. If you read just one book a month, that's 12 books a year. You'll be ahead of most people. Because I imagine most people only read about 3 or 4 books a year if they read anything at all. They're too busy watching sports and entertainment and playing games and things like that. I spent way too much time playing chess the last several years, but I became a chess champion of sorts. I competed against a couple thousand people online and placed 2nd and 3rd and 4th and probably 5th. Never number 1, though. For some reason, I just can't seem to get number 1. Very close, but competition's a lot greater than it was in high school. I was a chess champion in high school, but I was from a small high school. I got a couple of trophies for competing. It was fun, but I'm a much better chess player today than I was then. All right. Well, anyway, please read and remember the scriptures in Timothy. Study to show yourself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. That's the most important thing. Study the word, meditate on it. I remember the late Arthur Pink. A.W. Pink, he would read the whole New Testament. I think he read it twice a year, and the Old Testament once a year, I believe. He might have even read it more than that in one year, but he would read the same book, like let's say the Gospel of Matthew. He'd read that several times. Then he'd go and start with chapter 1 and read that several times. Then he would narrow it down to maybe 1 or 2 verses and just meditate and read it over and over and over again. Everybody has their own method, but we are ignorant for the most part. Christians today are pretty ignorant of the scriptures. That's why they are tossed to and fro by every wind of doctrine and the cunning craftiness of men. And why a lot of these pastors who have been to seminary, they've gone to seminaries which have been infiltrated by the enemy. He's actually sowed false doctrines, false teachings. And I won't get into all those false teachings today, but you probably know what some of them are. And so we have all kinds of disputes and arguments on the internet, on YouTube videos and that. And I'll be challenging some of those ideas later on, some of the things that might be of interest to you. But anyway, I hope you liked this video. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Share it with others. Hit the bell so you'll be notified of future videos. And be sure to get my book. This is a good year to start reading my book, Digging for Spiritual Treasure, a collection of meditations from my Hollywood apartment. I wrote this a long time ago. Just finally got it printed and published last year. It's in hardback and in paperback. Okay? It's available on Amazon. I'll have it on audio eventually. I think it's available on Kindle also. But this is the devotional book, and it's like 101, Theology 101. Okay, you'll like it. So if you're grounded in truth, you'll like it. If you're mixed up with a lot of doctrines and you come from a church that's been infiltrated by the enemy, you may not like it. Okay, but I think it appeals to Christians from all different denominations, whether you're Protestant or Roman Catholic. It doesn't matter, whether you're Lutheran, Presbyterian, Baptist, Episcopalian. You'll find something in there for your soul to meditate on. All right. Until we meet again, may the Lord richly bless you. Have a great evening.